Welcome everyone to another edition of Hardcore Wrestling Rants. I am your hardcore host Rick Head, and I'm joined by the hardcore crew. First, he's the incomparable Lance Moss over at Lance Moss TV. Lance, what's shaking?
Not too much. Trying to stay warm here. We're in the south where it's got a damn ice storm.
Oh, that sucks to be you. But then again, I live in Massachusetts. We deal with that shit also winter.
Oh yeah.
And then, of course, from the Skeldon Realms, he's the Lord Skull himself, Joseph Knight. Joe, what's going on?
Nothing much. Also trying to stay warm here and over at the YouTube channel. Terry 3Gs is already here. He says, "Evening to all." So welcome, Terry.
Welcome aboard, Terry. And we do have a few things going on right now. Elimination Chamber's coming around the corner. And
God damn, didn't we just have a fucking pay-per-view?
we did, and that's what I'm trying to like. What the hell is going on? Lance, we talked about this a little bit before the show started. What the hell does WWE need yet another show for?
Yeah, it's like they couldn't, I don't know, have this in damn December, a month they had absolutely not one in.
Yeah, I agree, absolutely. So, but it's an Elimination Chamber. But even before we get to that, guys, the Royal Rumble match is, usually we've done we talk about it, we go back, but I think we already know. We pretty much picked everything out.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns.
I didn't pick Kofi dropping himself on his damn head and knocking him out.
No, I did not. And another interesting tip on that, during the Men's Royal Rumble match, you saw Logan Paul and Ricochet collide with each other in midair. And apparently that was a planned spot. But apparently what Logan didn't know, because it was a rookie mistake, he didn't tuck his chin in, Joe. Now that, obviously, when you do any kind of a hit, you got to learn to tuck your chin in.
Oh, yeah, that's one of the basic wrestling knowledge that you should know. It is anytime you're taking a particular fall, you have to tuck your chin in, because if you don't, you can whiplash and give yourself a serious concussion. You can really dislocate your jaw, and it's a lot involved that can happen to you if you don't do that one simple maneuver. But then again, the art of wrestling is long gone, and you have these idiots like Logan Paul in there.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, one of the endings, like I said, Roman Reigns defeated Kevin Owens, and as the match ended, we saw that basically everybody in the bloodline was beating the shit out of Kevin Owens. He had himself all tangled up, and Sami Zayn tried to intervene, tried to like politely ask him to stop, and he said, nope, now you attack him. And he's like, this is too much, too far. So what does Sami do? He takes a chair, and I saw it. I'm like, you showed me before, Joe, in the past, when you have somebody in a chair that's standing behind you, you're going to want to get hit with a chair.
Hey, flashbacks to Seth Rollins.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. I figured Roman Reigns would learn by now. But nevertheless, that's pretty much when the bloodline turned on him. And the one last thing that I did not see at all was Jey Uso walk to the back. That was kind of interesting. And a lot of people are thinking, is the Usos going to break up? And I don't think so, Joe. Not while they have any kind of chances with the Universal titles.
Well, you know what? And this is what is signaled to me. What is signaled to me was this, that they're looking to this year slowly phase out the bloodline, the angle. These guys, have been in the ring for such a long time, have been in the ring a couple of times. Mostly the Usos have been active. As much as I love to knock the Usos for their DWI records, they've been active in that ring. They've been in major stories. Roman Reigns appears whenever, blah, 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 does his little ooh-ah, and he does his tribal chief bullshit. Well, obviously in this scenario, they are trying to create a little dissension in the ranks by saying maybe Jay didn't like the excess violence. Oh, fuck, dude, you've been doing excess violence for some time now. Maybe learning from those ex-cons, where every time you get a DUI, you didn't learn something. But Rick, I think this is a way to kind of slowly start phasing these guys out so they can have their, you know, every year or every so often they need a timeout. This will make perfect sense for them to do that.
Yeah, I agree. Lance, final thoughts on the final fallout at Royal Rumble between Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn.
Well, honestly, the only way this was not gonna happen is if Dwayne was gonna be at Mania, because they would have had to keep the bloodline together. And well, because honestly, if he would have needed the bloodline to keep that whole I'm the tribal chief, no, I'm head of the table, whatever. But yeah, they could have done a better job at not telegraphing that Sami Zayn was going to smack the living shit out of Roman.
Yeah, exactly. So you know what? Why don't we move on? Uh, as you said, right now, another game, one of the games, AEW Fight Forever. We've been waiting forever for this console game to come out, and apparently, one of the reason why it's delayed is because Ukes and AEW are trying to get a T rating from the ERSB, the Entertainment Software Rating Board, if that's what it is, to turn out to get a T rating, and they've been turned down twice. So, and apparently the reason for this is because there's too much blood and violence. Now, I spoke with my girlfriend about that, and when she heard that, for the reasoning, she was laughing her ass off. She goes, "It's a wrestling game. There's going to be blood, and there's certainly going to be violence. You know, what are we going to expect? You know, just them just like shake each other's hands and say, no, you lay down so I can pet, you know? Joe, help me here."
I that's the most ridiculous thing. But then they also have, I think, mixed gender matches in there too, where you could beat the women up. So that's not going to go over with certain people, with the Karens. You know, I don't know. This is a wrestling game. Wrestling games have been violent for years. You know, unless they have barbed wire exploding table bullshit, I still don't get it. It's a wrestling game. It, for them to be denied a T rating, find what rating do they want? You know, are these people giving them? Because Lord knows you see almost the same type of violence in a WWE game, which they're already pushing for their 2023 WWE 2K23. So I think this is just, I don't know. I think this is just a lot of bullshit that they're just saying. And to me, whatever rating you want, you're still going to sell the fucking game. Teams are going to pick it up. If you had a triple X thing, well, mommy, can I have that game? Yeah, sure. Here, shut the fuck up. You know, that's how it is. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you know, again, that's another issue that, you know, like I was talking with her, my girlfriend about, and I'm like, kids buy Grand Theft Auto, and you can't get any more graphic violence and bloody and worse than that. Lance, what's your thoughts on this whole situation?
Okay, Grant, y'all are more of the gamers that way more than I am. But what is Mortal Kombat rated?
I honestly don't know. I think it's mature. I think, or it's certainly not for everyone.
I will actually look it up while you go ahead, Lance.
Because okay, unless they're say Evil Uno's ripping Cody or ripping CM Punk's head off, give it a T. I mean, violence. It's a damn wrestling game, like Jen said. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just one of those just silly things.
And to answer your question, Lance, it is much. Mortal Kombat, the latest one, is rated M+.
Yeah, that's what they all are, and I think that's. I don't think there's anything between teen and mature. I don't know if there's like any happy medium.
No, over in the YouTube channel, Terry says, yeah, they just need to release it. Minors are going to play it because parents won't give a crap about it, which I just said. He says in the AEW main event, I will be taking on Nyla Rose in a G-string match. It will be probably Nutshot Haven in that match. You know, and that's me adding the Nutshot probably. Yeah. One, you know, maybe they would have gone through a different thing if they would have added transgender. They would have added a drag queen thing to appease the Karens and our woke nation. Maybe they can do a find the classified documents match where they'll look around under the ring and find a stash of documents, and out there'll be a little Biden standing up in the crowd
Oh
going, "Oh shit!"
Jesus. Well, the funny thing is, I mean, this is going over to WWE 2K23. I did see the preview, and you know who they're featuring in this fucking game? Bad Bunny. Can you
Yep,
not? I'm like, why is this
wrestling
fucking guy
has
in here?
gone. You know what? I'm gonna make this statement, and I'm gonna say it straight. Um, Honestly, the wrestling world has lost its focus. Has lost. This is not what it used to be. You know, honestly, we see hardcore matches. We've seen these exploding matches. Like Lance said in a previous show, Memphis was the origins of hardcore when it's done right.
Yeah, Tupelo.
There you go. Today it's like to get over, they'll do something extreme, and it's like they take it to the next limit. And since they don't have the solid, and I hate to say this, they don't have the Rocks, the Austins, the Hogans, the Machos, the Flairs of today. They have for what you got today. There's very few great talkers and very few packages, but still it still doesn't captivate the audience. So what do? Well, let's bring a has been rapper who probably needs to get a couple more million in his pocket. Bad Bunny, what a fucking name. I would like to fucking take a bat and call him Bat Bunny and beat the shit out of him. I thought I saw a putty cat, or well, guess what? I'm hunting a rabbit. Whap, whap, whap. There you go. Let's put an end to your fucking career. You got all these celebrities that should never be close to a wrestling ring. Now, or should I say, it should not be in a wrestling ring. Years ago, they used to be at ringside. They used to be the second. Alice Cooper seconding Jake the Snake Roberts, WrestleMania 3. Ozzy Osbourne with Captain Lou at WrestleMania 2 with the Bulldogs. That's fine. They're not getting involved. But when you actually have these fucking losers getting in the ring and trying to play, and I admit Bad Bunny did a nice Canadian Destroyer, but I bet you they have to show him like 50,000 times. No, you fucking moron. This is how it's done. Shawn Michaels, move, kick, move, kick.
Get off the ground, you fat piece of shit.
Go ahead, Rick.
Jesus.
There you go.
All right. Well, you know what? Why don't we move along here?
I like that. Rick just says, "Let's move around." Fuck Bad Bunny. That's just
Yeah, I don't need to talk
Let's
about
get
him.
away
We
from
don't
these
need Bad Bunny.
fuckers.
So we talk again. We have another pay-per-view, the Elimination Chamber, which is coming up on the 18th of this month. Already, they have 4 of the 6 participants for the men's Elimination Chamber. You have Johnny Gargano, Bronson Reed. You have Seth Rollins, and then Austin Theory. Lance, what's your take of this lineup so far?
Well, it's going to come down to between Seth and Austin Theory, because as much as I respect Johnny Gargano, they're probably not putting the U.S. belt on him, and Bronson Reed just got there.
Yeah, I agree. And again, there's two other people here, so I'm not even sure if it's for the title.
It is.
Oh, it is for the title.
Why in the bluest of hells they're putting the U.S. title on the line in an Elimination Chamber?
All right, Joe, what's your take of this whole thing?
You know what? I would agree with Lance. No matter who the other 2 final participants are, you're going to have Seth Rollins versus Austin Theory because there's a story behind it. Now, I would love to see that this starts a triangle. The only way I can see Rollins get eliminated out of this is Bayley comes to ringside and trying to claim him and Becky comes down and starts fighting with her, and Seth has to kind of break it up. And next thing you know, one of them accidentally nut shots him, and Theory rolls him up and pins him. You know, so it's this should be a battle of for Seth Rollins. You know, let's set it up as the battle for Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh
You know,
Jesus! All right. Now, of course, there's a women's elimination chamber.
it
Uh,
just got worse, folks.
well, you have Asuka, Liv Morgan, um, and then I forget the other two. Jesus Christ, I'm horrible. But there's two other ones, and Nikki Cross is one of the other ones, and I don't know who the other lady is. I'm guessing she's from NXT.
Carmella.
That's Carmella? Okay.
No,
No, that doesn't look like Carmella at all. I don't know who it is, but
that's is that the Rosie Perez or whatever? Rosie Perez. I'm saying Rosie Perez. That girl Perez or something like that.
I'd have to check the WWE website for the actual knowledge of who it is.
I'm looking at the picture, the graphic right now. You know, you have Oscar with a new look. You got Liv Morgan, who's probably going to shed some tears. You
Yeah.
got Nikki Cross, who they'll hold back and not let her explode and do her real shit. Um, and then you got these other two that whoever it is. I'm honestly, if there's any fucking justice in this match, they would give it to Asuka.
Well, the winner will be the number one contender. And again, we have two other unknown names. And Joe, you were right. It was Raquel Rodriguez.
Right.
She,
Rodriguez, whatever shit. She knows what she is. And
right.
Buenos dias. Adios when you get pinned.
Lance, how about you? Again, this is just the early picks.
I want to say Cross, but for some reason I'm thinking Asuka's gonna win this one.
Yeah, well, Asuka has not really gotten. I don't know if she's gotten a title shot, but she hasn't had the title, and I think since when Becky Lynch gave it up when she.
And also they've just repackaged her.
Again, so yeah, that would be another reason for that. Give her a nice push.
Over in the YouTube channel, Terry says it's a new old look on Asuka. So this is kind of the look she actually had in Japan. And when she came over, they gave her a different. She had to modify it. So I'm guessing this was probably because she didn't renew. I think she did renew her contract, so she probably wanted a whole new look. And it's not bad. It's a refreshed package for us on TV.
Yeah.
I'm tired of, Liv Morgan. She needs to go do what Mandy Moore did or whatever her name is.
Mandy Moore? Mandy Rhodes.
Mandy Rose, whatever her name is. She knows. She's
You've been watching too many episodes of This Is Us, I think, Joe.
Yeah. She needs to join her partner. Maybe they can both go together on the fan side and make tons of money if they just show off each other's body parts. I honestly, that's the only obvious person there is. So I'm tired of. You know what really gets to me? This is why I really rarely watch wrestling. It is same thing constantly. It's like there's no new people. Okay, they threw in this Rodriguez girl or whatever the fuck her name is. They threw her in. Let's appease the Spanish people. Let's throw her in there. Orale. Let's throw her in there. Everybody else has been in there, and it's not interesting. WWE. No wonder you should sell your product. NBC is now thrown into the market of trying to buy it. You hold back Nikki Cross. Can you imagine, Lance? You more know Nikki Cross than I do. I've seen her in a couple of matches when she was the wild monster that she was now. But hell, if they would let her go, I would see her in a cage go ballistic and like an animal and just start crippling everybody. I don't know why they don't do that.
Exactly. I mean, she had the nickname of the Banshee for a reason. She just went wild and beat the hell out of women.
Well, they have it, and I think that's what they're trying to do is maybe say, that the WWE Oscar wasn't working, so they had to repackage her, in the way you're saying. And to me, I like the new look, and usually with new looks comes a new push, and so I would hope that that's exactly what's going to happen.
You know the weird thing, Rick, when I first saw Oscar's look, like especially in this picture is really makes her look so different. It almost looks like Rhea Ripley in face paint, like completely face paint. Because we seen how Rhea Ripley's now more the goth. She's letting her hair grow. She's the same. She has more hair than Dominic Mysterio. Go figure. You know.
Well, when you go and do a hard time, they shave your head.
Yeah.
Really?
He did a lot of time in the Slammer.
Now Dominic needs to come out with one of those cars that bounce up and down and scream like he's Eddie Guerrero. So take a phony paternity test like my dad is Eddie Guerrero,
well,
man.
It's interesting that you guys mentioned that.
Oh Lord.
Yep,
Here we
because
go.
Vicky Guerrero took to social media and she said straight out she was not happy with this whole thing. She felt it was pretty much just insulting to Eddie Guerrero. So she just said just stop it because it's just horrible and she's not happy at all about it.
Says the one that screams "Excuse me" and does stupid angles in the name of Guerrero.
Mm. Well, she was married to Eddie Guerrero, so I guess she has some kind of leverage on that one. But all right, Lance, I'm gonna give you the final word before we get on to our next topic.
Yeah. One, I saw that thing where Vicky got pissed. Honestly, as close as Eddie and Ray were, and I believe Eddie is one of Dominic's godfathers. So Vicky might be offended, but I'm pretty sure Eddie would be cool with it.
And the real ticket here, Rick, is if Ray is okay with it, I don't see a problem with it.
Yep, fair enough. All right, moving on. There are a couple of unconfirmed matches for Elimination Chamber. The first one, comes from Dave Meltzer. And I say, quote, confirmed that Sami Zayn will face Roman Reigns for the WWE Undisputed Championship at Elimination Chamber on the 18th. At this point, WWE has made no official announcement or book at this match. So I don't know how Dave Meltzer got all this information. He probably shook his Magic 8-Ball to figure out what for his next pick.
Let me shake this thing.
Yeah. Well,
oh, here it is.
I mean, I can understand if they want to have to give Roman Reigns a match, but
I could see this, Rick. They do the chair shot that nobody saw coming. Roman wants, revenge. You could see leading up to this. You could see what is it, Jey Uso maybe wanting to battle Sammy, and Sammy gets a win over that, and they'll try to attack him. He'll roll out, and maybe Kevin Owens will get into it. And then it was like Roman will say, "Look, man, you hit me with a chair. Our match is a tables, ladders, and chairs match, or a chairs match, or something." And or it's some stupid stipulation with a chair, and then Roman gets his due back, and he'll keep beating on this guy. They'll come and rescue him. That pushes him off, and maybe this will be like the Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for the tag titles, because they need to get the tag titles already off of these guys. And as we've seen right now with the new push, Usos are defending their titles now separately. So they're going to look to do that. Roman, we already know WrestleMania set. We already know Roman has to take on Cody for one title, or if not for both. Most likely it'll be for the one world title. And then he'll probably have to meet night 2 against somebody else. You never know. This is WWE logic.
Well, Lance, over to you and your thoughts about this alleged Sami Zayn Roman Reigns match?
Well, Sammy's going to catch a beating, but also as high quality of a worker as Sami Zayn is, the gimmick not so much, but the actual guy. I think this could be a pretty good one if they tell the right story.
Well, see, here's my issue with it. Because, up until the Royal Rumble, he was a lackey, and now they got to push him as a number one contender? I mean, that doesn't make any sense at all to me.
Well,
I will tell you this, Rick. It makes perfect sense, not because he's the number one contender, but because they can honestly now say that he is. It's not about being the number one contender. It's about getting revenge for, Roman's going to look to say, I want revenge for him hitting me with a chair. That's it. There's nothing, to say otherwise. Oh, well, he hit me with a chair. Well, here's a title shot so I can get my hands on you, or I want you in a match. Nope, you got to put the belt on the line. Okay, well, I'm going to put the belt on the line, motherfucker. Now, this is going to entice you to fight me, but I'm going to beat the hell out of you.
And, okay, I can see that possibly. But let's move on to another match again that is supposed to be taking place. Brock Lesnar will take on Bobby Lashley at Elimination Chamber. Again, not confirmed. These are strictly rumors. Now, Lance, you and I were talking before the show and just said that, not only have we seen this 100 times, but we could have seen somebody else take on Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, both of these guys need somebody they can throw around. Since he's got Bobby Lashley or Brock Lesnar, or give or take within like 10, 15 pounds, about the same size of each other. So they're not going to be able to do their big power move, to get across the ring moves that they normally do, which takes away probably a good 75 to 80% of their moves that they do. So the match is going to suck.
Exactly. And one of the people we talked about is that Gunther could have been taken on Brock Lesnar. Would be a better idea at this point, at least for this match. Joe, I think Gunther obviously proved himself in the Royal Rumble, and there was a bit of a tease, and some reports saying it's going to happen later on down the line. But I don't see why it couldn't happen, at Elimination Chamber.
Well, here's the reason they want to probably throw these two monsters together. It is for that reason, Rick, to get Gunther involved. Here you got these two former MMA guys who have met in the ring to a point, but let's let them go MMA. Let's let them make it up that says, hey, we're going to do MMA rules. I'm just going to ground and pound you. And they will go back and forth. Will be the battle of the MMA guys. They will go back and forth. Gunther gets involved, pounds on one, pounds on the other, disqualification. Now you have him in the limelight, and he could take on either one of these guys to keep him relevant. And he could go over on these guys because they've done it all. And I understand Bobby Lashley, correct me if I'm wrong, please someone correct me and take me back to the 80s. Somebody, correct me if I'm correct here, but when it comes to these two guys, Bobby Lashley's trying to get the Hurt Business back. He's trying to build that thing back up again because he can't be who he is. He being the babyface in this era, for him, it's not really working, or whatever angle he's doing now. He needs that mouthpiece. He needs to get in there with a team, and Lord knows they don't have a faction, Rick. He needs that.
I agree, but he still has MVP as a mouthpiece, which I think the only thing that MVP is good at is running his mouth.
Exactly.
He was never good in the ring. Never liked the guy in the ring. I never thought he had any talent in the ring. But on the mic, I give him credit, But I want to move on to our next topic, and I know this is going to be one of Joe's favorite.
Oh, no.
We saw Nia Jax return to the Royal Rumble this past Saturday.
Hang on.
It kept getting worse. Go
Well,
ahead, Lance.
Hang on, boss. That's Joe at
uh,
ScorpionsRealm.com.
Go ahead, Rick.
well, WWE did release a new shirt for Jax, and while this is suggested she's back with the company, her WWE profile is still in the alumni section, so it's not entirely sure if she's back or not, or if she's just going to be one of those part-time things. Um,
No, it's WWE made a statement that says it is a one-off deal.
oh, it is
Just for the
okay.
it was just for the Rumble, and they just wanted to push a little bit of merchandise just to see how well it goes.
All right, your thoughts, Lance?
Well, uh, you know what? If it got her entrance and she makes a little bit of money off the shirts, good for her.
Okay, what would your thoughts? Let's say if she came back. I mean, do you even want to see her back, or?
Oh hell no! She hurts more people than Sasha Banks did.
Yeah, no shit. All right, that's a very fair point.
And as she once said, "Oh my hole," when she fell on her ass.
Oh my god, I saw that.
That
That is
that
so funny.
that iconic picture where she's like
Yeah.
that. Like if you haven't gotten it up the ass, Naya. Come on now. You you stand in front of Charlotte Flair all the time, and you in the shower, and you don't ever get that feeling. You know, let's get this shit out of
It
the
was probably
way.
more than a feeling, but you know.
Yeah, it's more than a feeling. Hey,
Oh,
I
and I
just
feel it.
You know what, Lance? I know you do it. That's why you didn't let me down, Lance. Moving on. Hall of
wait
Famer.
a minute. He says moving on, and he didn't let me do my bit in
Okay,
this
do your
little
show.
fat
Go ahead.
bloated bitch.
Okay, good. Now can I move on, or you want to keep
Go
going?
ahead, Rick. Go ahead.
WWE Hall of Famer Booker T claimed he had no knowledge of that he was going to be in the Rumble until the kickoff show. Booker T had not been in the WWE ring since 2012, and Booker claimed he had a feeling that he might need his ring gear. Might have a feeling that he needs his ring gear. Joe, you've worked in the business. How often do people bring their gear, carrying it around, thinking that they might get a spot, in the match
Oh,
if they hadn't wrestled for over a decade?
oh, especially if it's Booker, and I like Booker. Booker, his comments sometimes a little bit controversial. Lord knows mine's are not, mine's are worse. But Wilma Flintstone hairstyle, him saying, "I didn't know," bullshit. You knew. That's why all this time you are in the business. They keep you in a suit. They keep you in the back, whatever have you. He runs a school. You know, he had to know because one, Booker hasn't wrestled officially in a long time. So nobody's just thrown into a Royal Rumble where no matter how great the guy is, with the spinneroonie, with the axe kick and all that, you still got to get in shape for this. This Royal Rumbles, no matter what, are probably one of the most difficult matches in professional wrestling because you're colliding with so many people and your mind has to be multitasking because not only do you have to look like you're doing something, but you also got other people that if they hit you in the back, you got to react. Oh shit, I got hit over here. I got to react. You know, and an elbow to the eye, a kick to your midsection. You know, in the wrong place at the wrong time. You gotta be prepared for that. That's not something that even the most professional individual, no matter what, you have to know. You have to know what you're doing in that ring. So, and stamina, your body, once you get thrown over the top, I've been thrown over the top. It Yeah, it looks cool when you're going up and over. It's the landing that you worry about. It's just it's like a one person says, you get exhilaration when you're falling, right? Yes, you do. It's just a sudden stop that fucking ruins your day. If you're not prepared, you can really get injured, and that can even sideline you more. So I think Booker's. I'm sorry, Booker, but you know, I think that's to say that you didn't know, and especially he has a specific gear on for this. Not to say he didn't look good. But honestly, Rick, there's people in the business. Let me say this: I've met people in the business who do carry their gear to shows in case they're needed. A lot of guys do that. Even legends do that. That maybe we can get a spot in the show and get work and get paid. Even if they're not assigned, if they show up. I've had that issue happen. I've had guys come in that were not even booked on the fucking show, and they walked in and they just started changing their clothes to
Well, you
put in
want to know
their
why Booker
gear.
got in, right? Because John Cena and Stone Cold Steve Austin didn't show up, so you know.
Oh, and you know what? I gotta say this. I do like when they throw somebody a legend in there and who could still go.
Yeah,
And I
absolutely.
had and I have we haven't seen Booker in an official ring in a long time. So I'm okay with it. I'm not gonna say anything bad about Booker because he did the job. He went in there, did it. You know, the claim that I didn't know was gonna happen, bullshit. But everything else, hey, you know what? Good for you, Book. You got a bigger paycheck, and you managed to walk out in one piece. Bravo to you.
Yeah.
Next time, bring Stevie Ray. Maybe we can do a whole family thing on that.
All right, Lance, your thoughts on Booker T returning and claiming he had no knowledge about it prior?
It was good seeing Book. He came in, spinner, and he went out. But the fact that he said that he only knew right before the pre-show, bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
You're channeling your inner Iron Sheik there, Lance.
I mean, Bubba.
I would have want to see him back. I want to see him.
Yeah, I don't think that would happen,
At
unfortunately.
least Michelle McCool was honest enough and say she didn't know. About 9 days out is when she found out they wanted her in.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that was my next joke. I'm like, oh, maybe Michelle, didn't know, and said, oh, okay, hey, mate, and because how often do people get called off from in the ring, from in the crowd into the ring to wrestle? Not many.
Closest thing I can remember is when King joined the Royal Rumble back in like 97, 98.
Yeah.
From the commentary booth.
Yeah, and that was one of the other rare times that does happen. So moving on, during his latest podcast, Kurt Angle said that Hulk Hogan recently underwent some back surgery and now can't feel anything in his legs. Angle noticed that he was walking around with a cane back in the Rumble, back during Raw 30, but he initially thought it was because he had back pain. Hogan needs a cane because he can't keep his balance. This is what Angle had to say. He had his nerves cut from his lower body. He can't feel his lower body. He used his cane to walk around, although I thought he was using the cane because he had pain in his back. He doesn't have any pain. He has nothing at all. He can't feel nothing. So now he can't feel his legs, so he has to use a cane to walk around with. Now, one of Hogan's representatives pretty much said that stated the opposite. They said that Hogan is fine and that he's okay. So they didn't really completely dismiss it. They just But again, guys, Hulk Hogan. Say what you want about it, despite all his scandals and controversies over the years. Hulk Hogan has been the guy for over 25 years. Joe, over to you.
Oh my God, Hulkamania! That was the beginning of my wrestling love. Let's put it this way. Well, my love of wrestling. I remember as a kid turning on TV in my cousin's house and for the first time seeing Hulk Hogan pinning the Iron Sheik. It was incredible. And then I remember live, my uncle took me to WrestleMania 1 and we got to see Hogan and Mr. T taking on Piper and Orndorff. I would not be surprised Hulkster has got those issues with his back. After all, it's kind of documented. Sorry, Hulk, but he does have the steroid use. We've seen with superstar Billy Graham how steroids can deteriorate the body. Hogan has taken bumps throughout the years from his early 80s, hell, from the 70s, 80s, 90s. The man has taken humongous bumps and fought some of the best talent in the world. it's bound to mess with your body. So, maybe they did maybe with the back surgery, did he lose feeling in his legs and it slowly came back, or maybe he's doesn't feel it at all, and as long as you can feel Captain Winky and it still gets there, then okay, fine. But you know, I just hope that everything works out for the Hulkster because that's never an easy thing to lose your mobility, especially someone like him who's always active, not in the wrestling, but active in his business and whatnot.
Well, again, Hulk Hogan, I mentioned at Raw 30 uh, last week, he came out with Mouth of the South Jimmy Hart, but he usually goes out into the ring. He didn't. He came out to the stage, and you could tell that he was limping a little bit. And I'm wondering if Jimmy Hart was there for either support or make sure Hogan didn't fall.
Most
Lance,
likely support.
most likely. Lance, over to you.
Actually, Jimmy is Hulk Hogan's legitimate manager, so he probably was there to make sure that nothing happened to him. And Hogan has had, well, I know he had started having back surgeries in the early 2000s because he had one when he had that reality show, Hogan's Knows Best, where they put like,
Yep.
I think a cage or something in his back. So Hogan's back has been trashed for a long damn time.
Yeah, and like I said, it's a shame because growing up, Hulk Hogan, I was a huge Hulk Hogan fan.
Yeah.
You know, but to see him at the capacity that he is now, it's kind of hurtful, and it's kind of like I don't want to say feel sorry for him, but I definitely do. It just sucks. It's one of those shitty situations that he's in, and you could say whether it's because of all the years he's worked hard or all the drugs or anything else, but regardless, it's one of those situations, you know.
You know, it makes me wonder if the main cause is okay, him just his finisher, basically all that impact on his spine from dropping the leg repeatedly night after night.
It's
Well,
possible.
I can tell you this, Rick. I'm sorry to cut you off, but yes, it does happen because once you land on your tailbone, you're forcing your body that that bone up. So, and he's been doing that for years. So I would not be surprised if that was the thing that did him in.
Well, I mean, you look at other wrestlers, even Matt Hardy, who's kind of limping around. I mean, he does that leg drop from the second rope. That's pretty, well,
Yeah.
never mind his brother, who does far more extreme shit, come through tables, and that was for a long time was that after night after night. Now, obviously, as both Hardys are slowing down, they're kind of picking and choosing when they're wrestling. One, of course, when he gets out of jail, but that's besides the point. So, but I think we could wrap up this edition of Hardcore Wrestling Rants. I want to thank uh, Terry G is for always hanging out with us. And hold on, wait. We got Terry's like a whole bunch of. It's an old new look for Oscar, yes, and then he's also we'll talk about that. And he's going back on. I'm sorry, Terry, we kind of missed some of your comments. Hogan has made so many surgeries on his back, it was inevitable. One would become botched. And that's another thing we could also didn't think about. Maybe it was a botched operation. It does happen. So
Yeah.
all right, guys. But I want to give a thank out again to Terry 3G for hanging out with us. I would also give a shout out to our good friends over at BC Games and more, Mr. and Mrs. A, where they have a live gaming session. Is it every Monday night still, Joe, at 9:30?
Yep, every Saturday or Sunday at
Oh,
9:30.
okay. Okay, I thought it was Monday.
Yeah,
So
it's mostly now the weekends. Um, but I will say yes. You can check them out. They are there every Sunday at 9:30. BC Games and more. Just check them out.
all right, Lance, you're at Lance Moss TV.
I'm at Scoldren's Road.
I know. All right, leave me alone. I haven't smoked my weed tonight. Lance, take it away.
Well, every Tuesday night, I go live on Last Month's TV and Friends. I never know who's going to show up. It's every Tuesday at 7:05 Central, 8:05 Eastern, and come hang out with us.
All right. Joe, you're over at Southern Realms. What do you got going on over there?
Well, as Terry brung up um, a little bit in the chats, scrolled up about Luigi's Mansion. I am going to go back. I am going to be doing Luigi's Mansion, concluding part 2 for that. So check me out. I just come visit me at hashtag Scoldrens Realm. I'm on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I'm also on Instagram, and I am on Twitter at Scoldren. I play games of yesterday and today, retro PC to console. So just check me out again. Hashtag Scoldrens Realm, and I'm usually the bad one on this panel. But then we don't know because our voluptuous vixen was at AEW the other night, and we don't know if John Moxley is still free.
Mm.
Well, we're gonna have to find out tonight on Dynamite. I believe he's gonna be on. So.
And if you see a little woman chasing him around the ring with some rope, please trip John Moxley. hit Daniel Bryan with a bat so he can't interfere, because you gotta give this girl her chance to lock him up in the closet again. That vile John Moxley needs to be locked up again.
All right, so there you go, guys. Thank you for coming on. But until next time, I'm your hardcore host, Rick Head, saying we'll see you when we see you.
Buy this shirt.
Yes, and go to ScoldrensRealm.live. Hit that much button, and you will see our shirts from HWR.